cinematography movie directed by Aaron Sorkin. This is the first time he's directing, and he wrote movies such as Moneyball, Steve Jobs, just to name a few. It stars Jessica Chastain and Idris Elba, and this movie is about a true life story of a young woman named Molly Bloom. She used to be an athlete who accidentally broke her back during a skiing accident, and she has to give up her career in skiing. And she later involved in gambling and with a lot of celebrities and attracted attention of the FBI because of her involvement with the mob bosses, which she doesn't even aware of. And everything went wrong with her, went wrong, and anything could happen to her, happened to her. Now, I didn't even watch the trailer. I didn't even see any poster before going to see this movie. All I know is Jessica Chastain is in the movie, and so is Idris Elba. And I'm fond of both actors. And coming out of the movie, I really liked it. I just didn't love it as much as everyone does. First of all, the performances are all great. Jessica Chastain never failed, even when she was in bad movies like the Snowman movie. I think it's Winter Wars, I think. Even in that movie, she is the highlight, and she never gave a bad performance. And same as here, she had a lot of humor, but there was a lot of vulnerability and a lot of sincerity to her role. I think she portrayed Molly Bloom really well, and she is very likable, and you root for her throughout the entire movie. Also, Idris Elba was really, really good. Unlike his usual tough guy role, he had a lot of sensitivity bringing into there. He is more as a supporting character. He is the lawyer for Jessica Chastain, Molly Bloom, and he has to convince her to do a lot of things that she felt was against her own nature. So seeing them bantering around with each other and seeing their chemistry work out is one of the biggest highlights of this movie. Also, I really like the cinematography and the rapid editing. It makes the movie more fun and exciting. However, it's also a problem with this movie. Sometimes when there's an event, it looks more interesting than the actual story. But the whole movie is supposed to be about Molly Bloom, not the events. And sometimes when I see the movie, I felt like the events is actually taking over than the story. And they try to use those rapid editing in some of the dialogue scene with the lawyer when there's a more serious situation. And it can be really exhausting seeing the scene go back and forth between the character, and it felt like a ping pong game when I was watching the scenes. So that's just me. I didn't really like it that much. There were some really touching emotional moments, but like I said, sometimes the events does take over, and it felt a long time before those emotional notes hit. And I felt like the movie has already derailed a little bit, and when it's come back, it felt a little bit sudden. Guys, in the end, Molly's Game is a pretty good movie. It's not perfect. It's not as great as some people made it out to be, but I had a good time with it. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. This is probably one of my shortest reviews because I don't have that much things to say about this movie. Honestly, I thought it's really good, but it isn't great. Guys, thank you so much for watching my reviews. This is the last review I'm going to do before the year end. There will be a top 10 movie of the year coming out and a top 10 worst. And probably I'm going to have an underrated and overrated movies. There are a lot of movies I've been missing, like Call Me By Your Name and I, Tonya. But unfortunately, those movies have a really limited release, and for me, it's really hard to watch them. I really want to do a review on them, but unfortunately, I don't have access to seeing every single movie of the year. So I'm still gonna do the top 10 list. I'm maybe gonna see Phantom Thread, but that won't happen until the next year. So if this movie is great, I'm gonna put it on on the list of next year. Guys, thank you so much for seeing my review. And as always, if you think I'm good, you're pretty good too.